Okay, hi, this is Nancy. I'm coming to you live from my living room here in Portland. And this is take two. Technology wasn't working with us just a minute ago. So I am coming live, and I've got our weekly inspirational guest, Bonni Howard. I'm going to try to bring her on right now just in case there's a delay. I don't understand why she's not on there. I'm going to try this again. Hi, Lauren. Good to see you. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties here, Bonni. This happens from time to time. There she is. There you are. I see you. I'm inviting you to come in. I don't know why this screen is up here like this. Oh, come on. So I'm inviting Bonni to come on. Do you see it, Bonni? So every week I'd like to highlight one of the members in our group. We've had some fantastic guests here. We've had, last week we had Yana Jones, who's in Florida. She's a mom of 2 little children, and she's straight talks about balancing motherhood with, retaining a sense of herself and balance and being a wife and handling it all. We had Natalie Krzan, who came from Israel live. She's from Croatia, and she actually did something on fitness, but it's fitness, mind, body, and spirit. And Nadia Salmanaka and Barry Selby started off. Barry's a proponent of the divine feminine, and he's a wealth of knowledge in that area. And then Nadia, she gave her little spark of life too, in a broadcast, gave us a lot of great nuggets. Okay, so Bonni, she says, I don't. Okay, I requested you on. Okay, so Bonni, so on the side of your screen, there should be a little green, it looks like a little green person, and then you can press that, and it'll say, bring it on, bring yourself on, and then I'll accept it. I don't know what's going on. You know, Facebook changes things all the time. And that's what happens here. We just have to, like I said, roll with it. And let me see. Okay, there she is. Yes, there you are. And she's coming on. And if anyone knows Bonni and they just see what a beautiful woman is, and she just radiates joy and happiness and love all around. So there you are. Hi, love.
Hi.
Oh, pretty. You look pretty. You might want to like tilt. There you go. There you go. Or maybe tilt it a little. So there you go. There you go. I love that color on you. Hi, Alexandra. Hi, Kate. Kristen.
Hi.
Yes,
How
it worked
are you?
this time. I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, thank you.
Good.
My head's chopped off. Yeah. You know what I did? So because of our technical issues.
Oh no. Oh no. Bonni, you're frozen. You're frozen. Yes, this happens sometimes. Bonnie's frozen. I don't think I could click her off either. I'm gonna bring her back on. No, that's not gonna work. There you are, love.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
It's
Nancy,
okay.
is that
There
better?
you are. There you are.
Okay. So I'll tell you what happened. I am trying to set this up now on the
Yeah, it's
slide.
totally
I
fine.
got it all set up on my computer with my headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And my head's chopped off again. And the button was not showing up. So now here I am on my my cell phone. So can you hear me okay? Or should
Yeah,
I
I
try
hear
to
you
open
totally
headphones up?
fine. I hear you totally fine. Do you have anything that you want to maybe raise that up? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're looking up at
Sorry,
you.
I had it
Oh, it's
set
okay.
up perfectly, I promise. And then
No, it's totally fine. I totally get it. It's just that stuff happens. Like the button should be there and it wasn't. So here we are.
Right.
Here we
are. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Nancy, for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. And, I was just did a really brief introduction. I wanted to bring you on right away. And,
Thank you for that.
Yes. And from, you popped into my head, we've gotten to know each other throughout the last couple months on the Facebook Live community. And I remember, a little bit of background. Do you want to give you a little bit of background about yourself? I brought you on really quick before I can really explain. So
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem. So, yeah, so like Nancy said, I was in the corporate world for many years. I was always very type A, very driven, very perfectionist, career oriented. I grew up around business because my family owned a business. So I worked essentially from the age of 12 years old. And at about 25 years old, I got my master's degree. And I found myself in my late 20s traveling the world doing business with, owners, presidents of banks, and, being the only woman many times at the table in the boardroom. So it was a very comfortable, familiar environment to me. And I always had issues, though. I had a lot of gastrointestinal problems throughout my life. I was always very fatigued. I would suddenly kind of lose train of thought. A lot of pain. My mother used to call me snap, crackle, and pop because I was constantly popping all of my joints, my neck, my fingers, everything. And I went and it escalated. And actually, after I had my son, when I was 30 years old, the year after I had him, I found myself in the emergency room with severe neck pain shooting down my arm. And they sent me home saying, oh, it's nothing, which is kind of what I was used to because all my life I was told it's nothing. Well, the next day, my arm was completely paralyzed, my right arm, and I had to have emergency cervical surgery and have a plate put in my neck. So, but they never understood the reason behind that. Fast forward about 10 years later, things just continued to escalate. I found myself at work sitting behind my desk, shivering with migraines so bad I couldn't see my screen in front of me. I couldn't see my computer screen. I would be afraid to get up from my desk because I was afraid I was going to faint. I would have my heart rate going through the roof and then conversely through the floor, blood pressure all over the place, just all kinds of crazy, crazy stuff. And it got to the point where I couldn't ignore it anymore because it was so profound, and I wasn't able to function properly in the workplace. So I actually was, I kind of forced into early retirement is what I'm calling it now. But now, when I look back at that, it's, I never felt like I was doing what I should be doing when I was in those four walls of an office. I always felt like there was something bigger for me, something that I was meant for more. And now I find myself in a position where I'm advocating for people who have one of the conditions I have. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a genetic connective tissue order. So we have connective tissue throughout our bodies. It's in our fingernails. It's in our eyes. It's in our skin. It's in all of our organs. So when your connective tissue is defective, it affects essentially every part of your body, your digestive system, your skin, your organs, your sight, your hearing. I've had like 4 ear tubes put in the last few years. I mean, just kind of all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, and people look at me and they go, "Oh, there's no way you're sick. You look way too healthy to possibly have anything wrong with you, and you're too young." And and it's like, and that's what I heard all my life until about 4 years ago. And I finally, after going to, oh my gosh, probably like 7 specialists, I finally came across an electrophysiologist, which is a doctor that works on heart rate stuff. He eventually wound up giving me a pacemaker, actually, because my heart rate was really super low. And I was bound to a wheelchair because I didn't have the energy to walk without feeling like I was going to faint. So anyhow, he led me to the diagnosis of dysautonomia, which is a neurological condition that I have that also affects a whole bunch of stuff. And then eventually, December of last year, I got from another neurologist the diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So here we are. Long answer to a short question.
Wow. Yeah. So those are all like conditions that are intertwined, like connective tissues. You think about it. You don't think about it daily and how important it is until you lose that. Like I don't think about my connective tissues. Yes. And and then you finally found a specialist that actually diagnosed it. So now you have a handle on what it is, your ailments, and how to treat it and how to live with it. And now you're advocating for other people. And I remember, on the Facebook Live challenge, you were on there and you're talking about how you were nervous because you were going to go out live on your own page and talk about it. And you were really nervous. I was there, I watched you, but you got so much support when you went on there. And I'm so proud of you that you went on there and did it and shared your message. And yes, and people are, you know, shouting out tons of love for you. And, you know, now you're becoming such an advocate, a speaker for this condition, you know? So how do you feel? You feel like, you know, unfortunate led for something for you to not feel so good and this condition to lead you to your purpose. Now you're finding purpose in helping people. Do you want to talk? Yeah. So you're helping them find their purpose. Yeah. And how to manage it.
Right. And so, to answer your first question, how do I feel now? I emotionally feel better than I've ever felt in my life, because getting those diagnoses validated all of the things that were happening in my body all those years that I was told I was a hypochondriac or I was making it up. So it was so validating. And I had the opportunity to go with my mother to an Ehlers-Danlos international conference a few months ago. And it was so incredible to be in a room full of other people that understood what I had lived through also.
You're not alone, yeah.
And had such similar stories. And so the way that I felt at that conference was something I wanted to take home with me, and I wanted to do something with that and continue to feel that way. And so I found that by every time I tell my story, I heal a little bit more. And not necessarily in the physical sense, but there's a lot of like trauma and PTSD from going through years of having a very complex medical condition and not having it be acknowledged. So, you know, it's very, very healing for me. And I get so much out of being able to just bring inspiration to other people. It took me, this didn't happen overnight. I went through a very, very dark time, and I was extremely depressed. I thought my life was over. I thought, who's going to want to date me? Who's going to want to hang out with me? You know, this sick person, you know? So, that was how I saw it in my mind. But, after a lot of self-work, I do a ton of, my biggest job right now is working on me. When people ask what I do, I'm the CEO of my body.
Yes.
that's one of my main jobs. And it takes a lot to, you know, just keep myself mentally in the right space. And I do, every day I do gratitude journaling several times a day. I actually have a gratitude practice that I share with my son every night over dinner.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And, it's such a great way to like launch him into life and have him think of things that way. And, you know, even on the days when he says he doesn't want to do it, I'm like, and that's exactly why you should do it, because it's, you know, right? It's so,
how great.
So, I mean, I do meditation now, and I do gratitude journaling. I do affirmation statements and prayer, and, you know, and I have my physical therapy that I do. And the gym is extremely important to me because my body doesn't naturally have the strength of connective tissue. So I have to build a lot of extra muscle, or attempt to, in order to support myself, because my joints will dislocate. If they do anyway, but like the less that I work out, the more that happens. So,
so therapy is like your biggest, you had said working out in joints and ligaments is the biggest form of medicine for you.
Yes.
Right.
And emotionally too. It's a huge, I've worked out since I was a teenager, and it's always been something that just makes me feel good. Like I always say, my best hours of the day are in the gym, and then like the couple of hours following the gym, that's when I feel the sharpest, the most energized.
Because you were in fitness for a while, weren't you? You had said that you were in the fitness industry for a while. What were you doing? Weight loss. Okay.
Yeah. So I was, it was actually the family business, and I grew up around it. So from the age of 12, I started out doing little things in there, but then I moved into like coaching. So I would coach people on how to lose weight and how to maintain their weight. And then I moved into sales, and then eventually management. And then eventually I was regional manager over 12 locations of Nutrisystem weight loss centers in the state of Arizona. Yeah. That was back when they
Wow.
were the franchise model, so it was a little different than it is now online.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
bringing that back into your everyday, it's like going home, fitness. And so when you
it
can do a
really
little
is.
bit of movements. So what kind of fitness do you like to do, to get your body movement? I'm a proponent of just whatever, woman can do. And that will also drop you into, you'll drop into yourself, you drop into your femininity, movement. It's so important. And then of course, working out to tone your muscles and keep everything, fluid, right? So what are
Yes.
some of your
Yeah.
favorite things to do?
So
That
I am kind of a traditional gym person where
hmm
I do free weights and machines.
hmm
I can't do anything too heavy because hold on, this thing keeps popping up and I'm sorry I have to make
That's
it go
okay.
away. Keeps inviting me to a watch party. Anyway,
Uh,
so um, I have to do low weights and high reps because my ligaments and tendons don't support the heavy weights. So I do
mhm.
low weights, high reps. I do machines and free weights. Um, Up until recently, I was doing something that I probably shouldn't have done, but I've always been very hard driving, very like hardcore with my gym workouts, and I loved the Stairmaster because it was
Mm,
like the biggest bang for my buck. And in X amount of minutes, I could burn X amount of calories and like really get a good muscular leg workout too. But
mhm.
I actually had an MRI on my hip a few weeks ago because I became almost unable to walk. So I think that I have given up the Stairmaster. So
Yeah.
I'm doing later stuff now, like treadmill and slow
hmm
treadmill because it's pretty painful right now. So
hmm So
um,
the step mill or the there's the step mill and then there's the stair master. So both of them.
I was doing the step mill. Yeah, the one that's
Okay.
like an
Yeah.
escalator
That one's
that goes up.
good.
So it's
Yeah.
probably pretty hard on my delicate hip joints, and
Yeah.
I think I did something that I probably should not have done, which is one of the things in my life that I continue to work on is balance and
Yeah.
moderation.
hmm
It's
Yes.
always, yeah,
So learning how to balance it all, and being
yes,
gentle with yourself and being gentle
yes,
and you're finding what works. And then sometimes something else isn't going to work. And then you find something else, moving into something else, because, it's a new body and you're learning how to
yes,
love it.
exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Learning how to take a couple of steps back and accept what is and
hmm
be okay with that and live the best life that I can given the circumstance. And I will tell you, I am in emotionally the best place I've ever been in my life.
Mm,
I have an amazing man in my life that just
yes.
loves me so unconditionally.
Yes, and I do want to talk about that. So
Yes.
I do want to
Yes.
bring that up. That's one of the definite things because it's such a beautiful story. So, you had talked about earlier about how like, oh, a dark place. Oh my gosh, she's going to love me. I have this condition. My life is over. Who's going to want to date me? So do you want to go into about, you did have some people that you were dating and they couldn't, handle that what you were going through. They weren't man enough to be there on your side by your side, and then finally you met the person that you're with now
Yeah.
on
Yes,
Tinder.
I met him on Tinder of all
Can you believe
places.
it?
I
Of
met him
all
on Tinder.
places. Yes.
Yeah, so the least likely place to meet the love of your life. But it's so the funny story behind that was he and I were both on it, and then we were told it's a hookup site, and we both went off of it because neither one of us was looking for a hookup. So, but then what happened is a friend of mine, or a couple of friends of mine, told me they'd met wonderful people on there and that I should go back on. And then on his side, a cousin of his told him that he should go back on because she met the love of her life on Tinder. So we both went back on, and the rest is history. And today is actually our 19-month anniversary. We celebrate
Oh,
like teenagers every month.
so nice. Happy anniversary.
Thank
Happy
you.
anniversary. That is such a good story. That is such a great story because, I mean, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of online. I've tried it over and over, but I'm always willing to try it again. And I have seen love
Yes,
stories, like to have a love story like yours. It's just timing too, you
exactly.
guys. I believe too, it's timing. You both were in the right space. You were
Mhm.
both told to come back on at the same time, and boom, here you are
Yeah,
19 months later. And I've seen
yep, it's
pictures of
me.
you, and you're just like You're just glowing. I love it.
He does make me glow. He does make me glow. And oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I have a cute story. So
Okay.
I did have some issues with, with dating and getting ghosted by a couple of guys, or just simply them telling me I can't deal, they'd be fine until they'd see me like on the floor, like ready to pass out, or, oh, I can't go out tonight because I'm in the emergency room. And then they would all of a sudden be like, I can't deal with this. Sorry, I'm out. So, um, so David, and I have my moments of insecurity where, I think, oh, this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's going to be too much. And every time that happens, he just pulls me in closer and reassures me. And so my cute story is, there was one of those nights where I was just feeling really bad, and I was feeling like I couldn't keep up with him, because David's a very, very active, he's a very active man. He's a go-getter. He does a ton of stuff. He loves to travel. And I was just feeling really bad about not being able to be enough for him. And I was watching the season finale of The Bachelor, which is kind of embarrassing to admit, but it's a guilty pleasure. And
I have a lot of girlfriends that are in love with The Bachelor, and the only time I watch it, when I go over there, I'm like, oh, this isn't real life. Like that's not real. I go over there for the poop, but then when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get drawn in. So your guilty pleasure. That's
totally. So he knew I was watching that, and we had a conversation on the phone earlier that day, and I was telling him, I feel like I'm not enough for you, and it doesn't seem fair to you. And he's like, he just was reassuring me over and over again. And then he knew I was watching the Bachelor finale, and he said, can I just come over for 5 minutes? I have to be with my kids, but I just want to see you for 5 minutes and just look into your eyes. He comes over with 24 roses. And he says to me, he said, Bonnie, I just wanted you to know that all of my roses are for you for the rest of our lives. You're the only bachelorette I want. And he said, I would rather have 5% of you than 100% of anybody else.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That is amazing.
It was beautiful.
Every girl swoon.
Right?
Drop a heart. Anybody that's watching this, drop a heart if you want that in your life. Or if you already have a man, that is amazing. That's so beautiful. I absolutely love that.
Incredible. I'm very blessed. Very blessed.
And he's blessed too, because you deserve it. And he's got someone, as radiantly as beautiful, shining her light as you are. And I just love that. So you told me something, I think I posted something a while ago, just about, I'm ready for my man, I'm ready for my person. And a lot of women are too, but you said something to me that was really great. I think you might have posted it, just about what would you tell ladies about, holding out for a man and knowing that he's out there? You said something like that. What would you tell the ladies out there that are, looking for a love like yours?
Yeah, I would say, don't settle. You're a beautiful woman. There's a lot of you and a lot of other women out there, beautiful women, lots to offer. Probably a lot of men that would love to date you, but don't settle for anything less than what you deserve. I had no idea that a love like this existed in the world, and that I could not have dreamt up anything better than what I have right now. Like this is beyond anything I ever expected or wished for. So when you just keep your hope up and keep your heart open, and be selective. I mean, I did my share of online dating, and as I went through it, I got better and better at early on in the process deciding what I did and didn't want. And I watch how people treat other people when they think you're not watching. Like a guy, like if you go out to dinner, how do they treat the waiter? How do they treat the busser? And it's, because they can put on their best face for you the first couple of times, and, or first couple of months or whatever. But I look at how they treat everybody, because I like to treat everybody with love and respect, no matter, their position or their stature or their socioeconomic position in life. And I want someone like that in my life. So, and I saw that in David. And the beautiful thing is when David and I go any place together, people always smile because we just love to bring joy to other people. And we express our love very openly. We'll just, be like the other day we went to the theater and we were in front of the person taking the tickets, and and she said something about, how great he is. And I said, oh, you have no idea. He's the best. And I kissed him, and, and she's like, oh, you guys are so sweet. And, we get that stuff all the time. And we always like to make other people feel special too. And, share the love. So, it's just an awesome partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're, you're shining an example for other people that are out there because they obviously see it. They see it in you both. Right. And I'm so happy for you that you found something like this. And now, were there ever periods like, you're online, you did have that dark days just before you met him? What were you still dating, or did you take time out, or what kind of space were you in just before you met him? Or was it just one of those out of the blue, like,
so yeah, I was dating, and the very first date I went on with David, who's my boyfriend, soon to be fiance. Oh yes. So the very first date I went on with him, I knew he was the one, and I didn't have any need to date anybody else. We both decided to take ourselves off the online dating sites. And it happened. It was pretty magical.
I love that. We're getting a lot of hearts. I can't see without my glasses how it is. You're getting a lot of hearts over that. Let me see if we have any comments here.
And I can't see the comments on my phone. So
so I'm going to read the comments. Let's see who's here. So okay, Kristen was here. She said hello again because she was there on that failed first broadcast.
Great. Hi, Kristen.
And Alexandria Sophia is here. And then Kristen says, hi, Bonni. And Yvette says, yay, hello, beautiful Bonni. Beautiful Bonni. Yvette says that. Yeah, Yvette McClue.
Hi, Yvette. Thank you for watching, honey.
Yes, thank you. And it says, it looks perfect. Hi, Angela. Angela Kim's here. She's a friend from Los Angeles. And she's got a boy and a girl. Angela, a boy and a girl, or did you have two boys? Yes. So, and then Kristen says, so glad they found the issue and, more importantly, validated you. Yes, that must have felt so good. You weren't crazy all your life. Like, am I crazy? Is it, what is it? Psychosomatic? Like, there's, something, and then you're making yourself wrong because there is something wrong with you, but you're making yourself wrong because you're feeling a certain way. So that must have been such a relief to be like, there it is.
It was funny because when I first told my friends and family about the diagnosis, they were like, how do you feel? And I said, validated and relieved more than anything else. I was like, finally, there's a name for everything that's happened. And the thing is with, a couple of the conditions I have, the dysautonomia and the Ehlers-Danlos, there's so many symptoms and they're from head to toe. So, it can very easily seem like Munchausen syndrome or something. And, and a lot of each doctor has their own area of expertise. So, it's unusual that they would be able to put it all together. It really takes a specialist, like Mayo Clinic has specialists, Cleveland Clinic. I see a guy here that has a specialty in it. So so just to have people put together all of the craziness of my life and have it finally make sense. Even so, another thing that's strange. So I've always been a huge klutz, and I never understood why. We joke, like me and my boyfriend joke about it, me and David. I carry this water bottle around with me everywhere I go because my mouth is constantly dry, which is one of my many symptoms. So
but it's good for you too. Hydrate.
Oh, all the time.
Hydrated.
I drink probably like at least 3 of these a day. And then a couple of cups of chamomile tea. Oh yeah. It's part of, I need to keep my body functioning as optimally as possible. But I put electrolytes in there, and we were sitting at lunch, and I poured my electrolytes in there, and I went to go shake it, and I forgot I didn't have the top on, and I made like a rain shower everywhere. And there were people at the next table that were cracking up, and we just started hysterically like laughing and, you know, almost crying, laughing so hard. And that's how I have to do it. I mean, I do a bunch of goofy stuff because my proprioception is also affected by my illness. So I bump into stuff all the time. I'm constantly like bruising myself or cutting myself, or like, because I just, my perception of where my body is in space is not on point. So, but I just have to laugh at myself, you know, and David's so patient and loving with me. Like when I spill a glass bottle of teriyaki sauce all over his driveway and we spend like an hour cleaning it up, and he still loves me.
Oh, of course he will. So that electrolytes that went all over, was it like red, green, clear? So did it ended up on any of you or the table next door?
Thankfully, it was clear. So I didn't have to, you know, have it all over my outfit or anything. I mean, I did, but it was basically, it looked like water, so it was easy to get rid of.
Oh, good. I have to tell that reminds me of one of my stories. This was probably about 10 years ago. I was at a, you know, wine tasting food event, and you know, I'm a little unsophisticated, but I was more unsophisticated back then about wine because I didn't even start liking wine until I was in my mid-30s. So, so yeah, I'm at a tasting. There was a cute guy that was like, you know, serving the wines, and he's so cute, and he's, you know, flirting with me, and I take the wine. I'm like, oh, and I swirl it, and it goes shooting off to the next tasting table. Literally went up, and he's like, oh, I'm like, literally like a comedy. It went to the next person. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. Ended up dating him for a little bit, so I guess that didn't affect it. Yeah, and it was red wine. That could have been a disaster.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. You just have to laugh, right? It seems like that happens.
Had to laugh.
We have to laugh for ourselves.
Yeah, part of our personality, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Makes life fun.
Yes. Yes. So now, so these disorders that you have. Is it something that's a daily occurrence, or does it come out randomly? Do you have days where you don't feel it at all and you're feeling great, and then all of a sudden like 3 of your conditions or something will happen, or like, you know, like your dry mouth, that's something that's probably daily, but does it kind of come in and out?
So that is one of the hardest things about what I have. It is unpredictable as unpredictable can be. Every day it's a new set of symptoms. So like one day it can be, you know, my joints are very achy, or I have a migraine, or I'm having, you know, gastrointestinal issues, or a combination thereof. Or sometimes I can't see clearly, my vision gets very blurry. I can't get corrective contacts or glasses because my vision will literally change hourly. So I had a vision test, and it came out one way one week, and then the next week I had another one, and it was completely different. So they can't make, you know, anything to correct it. So there's other days, you know, fatigue is another huge thing, brain fog. So, you know, I was a little nervous coming on here this morning, and it's because my body is so unpredictable. Like right now, my left eye is watering because I have like something called mast cell, which is basically allergies to like everything. So like sometimes my throat will feel like it's closing up, and I get hives, and it's just madness. I mean, like, that's why it's until you have a diagnosis, you almost think you're crazy. Like, how could all this stuff possibly be happening? But so yeah, so that's the hard thing about it, is that every day is unpredictable. So there was a period of time where I was afraid to leave the house because I didn't know if I was gonna, you know, have to sit down in the middle of the grocery store because I felt like I was gonna pass out. And I've done that. I've like sat down in the middle of the floor in a very inappropriate place. You know, I didn't know if all of a sudden something was going to start hurting so badly that I wouldn't be able to walk, or, you know, I'd be driving and I wouldn't be able to see clearly. So there's been a lot of mindset behind it, you know, just finally coming to a place where I feel as much at peace as you can with something like this, and just enjoying every day as much as I'm able. And I do have some days that are a lot better than others, and I love those days. And I run, and I do not run physically because I can't do that, but but I, you know, I do as much as I can, and I take it all in. And yeah, so, but then, you know, the hard thing about that is that So you'll have a really great day and you'll feel like, oh, I've got this, I'm getting better. And then the next day, boom, you get hit by it's like being hit by a truck again. And it's just, it can make me sad sometimes, honestly, because, I want to keep up with everybody else. And that's one of the hardest things, is being such a driven person. And now doing my advocacy work, I want to help as many people as I can. And yet there's only so much of me to go around, So, and I only have so much energy to share. So my goal is to find ways that I can help and reach as many people as I possibly can. And social media is a great way to do that, without completely depleting my own resources.
Yeah. And so you've learned how to balance it. You've learned how to, those days that aren't so good, and then when they're great, you have gratitude, and you just don't take a single minute for granted at all. And in those times, you might feel bad, and you're just, you have to be gentle with yourself. Okay, this is, you've got somebody that loves you, you love yourself, you know what this is, how to manage it. And it's just, you've learned to balance all that and to be really grateful for what you do have. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and how you're turning that into an advocacy. Do you want to, I know you had talked about some of the things you're doing. You're writing a book and you're going to have a podcast, correct?
Yeah, not yet, but I'm going to be, that's something that I do intend to launch. And, and those are some of the ways that I feel like I can reach a larger audience and help more people. Right now I'm doing some social media stuff. I'm doing live videos on social media because it's, the thing about my condition is it's, I'm trying to think like right now I got made up for this, and I kind of thought, do I do that? Do I not? Most days you'll find me in a baseball hat and yoga pants, and that's my outfit, because it takes a lot of energy to do all this and I don't have that much energy. So I need to decide how to allocate my energy. So anyway, so I've done some live videos, and I've even gotten the courage to get on there and show them my pain and my tears. And when I was in like,
that one.
Thank you for watching it. It means a lot.
Of course.
So, and that's hard to do, but it's also, it gives me an opportunity to show them that just because this is what things look like on the outside, that's not the reality. That's not my life experience. So, I really want to show people, get on there with no makeup and no hair and in pain, and show them what's behind the scenes. So that's one of the ways that I'm doing that, is through live video. Then I am writing a book. My kind of placeholder title right now is called From Pain to Purpose, because I really feel like all of these things that I've been given, I call them gifts. Might sound a little crazy, but I call them gifts because it gives me a sense of understanding and compassion and wisdom that I wouldn't otherwise have if I hadn't gone through all of this. So it gives me the ability to understand other people that are going through very similar things. Gives me the understanding of them that's much deeper. So I'm writing a book, and I am intending on doing a podcast. The other thing I plan to do is to start a Facebook group where I can provide coaching on a larger scale, again, because my energy resources are limited. So I want to be able to reach as many people and help as many people as I can. So, and coaching's kind of in my blood. I mean, I did it in the weight loss industry. I was a recruiter for a while, so I gave people career coaching. I was a financial advisor, so I advised people on their finances. So now I'm an expert, so on taking care of these health situations and the mental side of it, and being enough, and letting people know that they are enough, and that there are ways that they can still enjoy their lives and get the most out of their lives, regardless of the situation.
I love that. So yeah, you're doing it. You're an advocacy. Your book is going to be phenomenal, and you've taken all this and now you're giving it back to other people. And the thing is, I've seen you with a baseball cap and yoga pants, and you still look beautiful. And, you know, it's not about being perfect. It's about being real. You look gorgeous today. I love that color on you. But
Thank
people
you.
need to see vulnerability, and it's scary to be vulnerable. So when you have the courage to go on and share your pain, share your vulnerability, it draws people to you because it shows them in themselves that they're not alone, that they don't have to put this mask, they don't have to hide things, especially with a health condition that might be debilitating. And, you know, they feel so isolated and they feel like nobody can understand them. And for you to go out there and to show them that they're not alone and to show them that they have somebody that's going through the same thing is going to help so many people. And I can't wait to see all this go into the works. You know, I am seeing you going live on social media. And I think if, you know, you're going to have a phenomenal program to help people out with. And that's what the beauty is about social media. And that's what the beauty is about internet. When it's used correctly, you can be in this room like we are right now, and you're talking to people all around the world and helping such a broader range of people. So that's the beauty of this, and that's how you're going to do it. You know, Zoom, you know, Facebook Lives, you know, programs, digital programs, and, you know, one-on-ones and speaking engagements. So I'm really excited about that for you. Are you starting on that?
Thank you for reminding me that speaking engagements is the other thing. And actually, and I did some of that in the when I was in my career, public speaking. So it's not foreign to me, and I've always enjoyed it a lot. So yes, so public speaking is definitely one of the areas that I want to get into as well. And just, you know, nothing makes me feel a greater sense of purpose in my heart than knowing that I've made someone else feel validated or inspired or loved or understood. You know, I mean, those are the things these days that light me up more than anything else. I love that. And, you know, through the preliminary stuff that I've been doing, I've already helped people figure out mystery illnesses that they've had for, you know, a decade, and they never knew what it was. And just knowing that I helped them get to, it took me over 40 years to get a diagnosis. So, you know, all the emotional damage that does, and to be able to help somebody get to their diagnosis more quickly and get, you know, whatever treatment they can is the most rewarding thing. And I feel like, aside from being a mother, which is my first most important job, I feel like this is the second most important thing I can be doing in this world. So
yes. So you're taking everything, you know, it's like what they say, our pain is our greatest teacher, and it's whatever hurts us most or whatever our dive challenge is. When we can go straight through it, you don't go around it. You have to go straight through the center, and whatever transformation you have, that, you know, when you go through it, you're transformed. And that's what we take and we give to other people. That's what we take and we use it to help other people. That's how we serve. And, you know, you found your purpose in this. And and you're just a beautiful.
I feel very lucky.
Yes. And I feel very grateful to know you. I feel very lucky to know you. And I get to see you soon in Scottsdale.
I know, I'm so excited. I'm grateful to know you as well, Nancy. You've been so supportive, and I love what you're doing on Radiantly Divine, and just,
thank you.
You know, women empowering other women and embracing their feminine side, which is something that I often tend to lose, because being in corporate for so long, that was, you know, my masculine side was definitely the dominant side, but I just love how you are, you know, lifting up and empowering other women, and you're so supportive and so full of love and light.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful to have you in my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel it's so important for us as women, especially, to really, you know, not tear each other down. I've always had friendships, you know, that have lasted years, that there's no competitiveness, there's no jealousy. Like what we have, we offer to somebody else. Another woman, because they're going to pass it on and do the same. And we need a society of women that do that. And because we're going to really change the way things are. And I think the younger generation really needs to know that and see an example, you know, as, you know, so they can start younger. I mean, you're showing your son gratitude. You're helping him, you know, with a lot to raise him as like a man that's going to, you know gratitude and know how to, you know, embrace the new woman that's coming, right? Or embrace himself as a man. And, you know, I think that's so great teaching them so young. Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. So yes, and I do, that's going to lead me to my last few questions for you, but let me answer some of these. Let's read some of these comments.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So here we go. So Yvette says, sharing your story lets other people know that they aren't alone and empowers them to be their best, to be their own advocate.
Yes.
Yes. And Jen Abadis, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry, Jen's here. And Beth Goetz says, I love that. And Yvette says, I'm sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on. You just,
I wish I could help, but I don't know if I can do any better.
I've got it. So you deserve to have an amazing man in your life. He is a lucky guy.
Aw, so sweet.
He's a lucky guy too. Yes, and as so sweet, happy anniversary. And Kristen says, you are enough, Bonnie. Bonnie, you are enough. And Yvette says, I'm with you, Bonnie. I love The Bachelor. So there's another proponent. Maybe you guys should do, you guys should do a Facebook Live or some kind of like FaceTime each other. You guys could be in the same room watching The Bachelor. Guilty pleasure.
Have a season finale party in California. It'll give me an excuse to come out to California.
Yes, a watch party. So fun. And so Yvette said, I don't know him, but I love him. About your man.
Aw, me too.
I love him too. And Yvette says, you are more than enough, Bonnie. And Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi Fossily.
Hi, Heidi.
Yes, Miss Europe, gorgeous woman. Hi, lovely lady, she says. I don't know if she's still here. And Phoenix was here. I think she's the one that was popping all those hearts. Thank you, Phoenix, for being here.
I love you.
We love you. And she says, hello, beautiful. And she says, you two are electric. Thank you.
Yeah, baby.
A little saucy. Phoenix says, love making my partner feel like he's the luckiest person on the planet. That's fun. So, Bonnie, what are some of the things you do to make your guy feel like he's the luckiest man on the planet?
I believe in just telling it like it is. And every day I tell him how much I appreciate him. I literally thank the universe for him every single day, but I tell him every day how grateful I am and how much I appreciate everything he is and everything that he does, and how much he loves me and how much he unconditionally accepts me. And just, he does the cutest, sweetest things for me all the time, and just treats me with so much respect. And I can't stop telling him. I just look into his eyes and I'm like, look at me. I'm like, have I told you I love you today? And, have I told you how much I love you today and how lucky I feel to have you in my life? I just always telling him and sending cute little text messages. And, actually right before I came on this call, I sent him a video message, and and then I actually wound up speaking to him on the phone. I said, I just wanted to hear your voice because I'm feeling a little bit nervous about this interview. And, I just wanted to feel your love because it always gives me the confidence that I need to be my best.
Oh, I love that.
He pumped me up and gave me all the confidence I need. And so he does that for me. He makes me feel like I can do anything. And I think a large part of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now is because of the confidence that he's instilled in me. And I just, because, I had lost my confidence. I lost my career, my health, and I just felt like I had nowhere to go with things. And he gave me that back, and he gave me a sense of fun. And, we just have fun together. We laugh and we dance and we sing, and, we just act crazy, and it's just awesome.
Yeah. He's the wind beneath your wings.
He really is the wind beneath my wings. I've said that to him before. Yep.
I love that. And the thing is, when you're complimenting him and telling him how grateful you are for him, it really, for a man that really knows his sense of self, a conscious evolved man that's not going to go running from something like that because he doesn't believe it in his own self. It's like liquid gold for a man to be appreciated, because then he gives more. He's able to receive it, and he's able to give more to you, because, you know, that's what women need to do, is to appreciate the man. And, you know, it kind of puffs him up, and he can be the hero for you. He's the hero for you. And
he is my hero.
Good. That makes him feel good, as I'm sure, just as good as well. Yeah. Hi, Vivian. Vivian's here. So,
hi, Vivian.
Hi, Vivian. So Phoenix says, so many hearts for you, Bonni Fleischman, Howard. So she was the heart. She was popping.
She's the heart queen. She's the queen of love.
Yes, we love seeing that. And Yvette says, you are a true warrior, my friend.
Aww. As are you, Yvette.
And she says, unpredictable, but we appreciate the good days and the simple things in life. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she says, oh, go ahead. She's like, no, thank you for watching and commenting. We love all these comments. So Yvette says, amazed and inspired by your bravery in being vulnerable.
Oh,
takes a lot. It takes a lot. It really, you know, each level like of growth and going out there and being vulnerable and exposing yourself, it's courage, and it's going to help other people be brave as well, and to have courage, because you don't, it's not covering this shit. It's not covering the shit up and masking everything, because those masks come off and the real person comes out. So help so many people. So Kim was here. She's my friend. Sonia was here. Kim's my friend in Temecula. Yvette sent you lots of heart. And Barry Selby was tuned in. So I don't know who's still here, but thank you so much for tuning in. So I want to thank you for coming here. And before we wrap this up, I'd like to ask, since, you know, it's radiantly divine, it's about finding your radiance from the inside out. It's radiating beauty, radiating joy. It comes from the inside and comes out. And I'm such an advocate of, you know, femininity and, you know, finding your feminine essence. And what makes you feel you're most feminine?
So the biggest thing that comes to mind is David, my man. You know, I was such an independent woman that always liked to do everything for myself, and, you know, I don't need a man, and, you know, and I was the breadwinner in several situations, and David takes care of me in a way that I've never been taken care of before, and that makes me feel feminine. And he holds open doors for me, and he pulls out my chair for me.
I love that.
Yeah, he just, and when I'm not feeling well, he takes such beautiful care of me. You know, he'll get me ice packs for my body, and, you know, bring me food and whatever else I need. And he just makes sure that I'm as comfortable as I can be. And, you know, like, I have all sorts of interesting devices to make my life more comfortable. Like, for instance, I have a body pillow that I sleep with every night because it helps to support my joints better. So he bought me a body pillow for his house, so that when I go over there, I can feel equally comfortable. And he just, you know, he bought me an essential oil diffuser, because I like to diffuse essential oils before I go to bed every night. And, you know, he just does such wonderful things, and he makes me feel like a woman.
Yes. He's really perceptive to things you need, even before, it sounds like, even before you even ask or say anything, and he listens and hears you, and he's there for you. And that allows you to be feminine, because you can rest back, because, you know, you've been in such a masculine dominated world before in your career and finance, that it's like, go, go, go. It's the men's world. And to be able to be home and allow yourself to just drop and rest and allow him, it helps, you know, you drop into your femininity. Yes. And the more you drop into the femininity, the more, you know, he does things to allow you that, or he just is. He's just, you know, he holds the space for you to be your divine, beautiful self. That's it.
Yes. And every other weekend. So I have my son, I have a medicine reminder that pops up on my phone, because I have to take medicine a lot throughout the day, and that's what just happened. So sorry about the interruption.
That's okay.
But anyhow, so the weekends where my son goes to his father's, I pack my suitcase and I move in with David, and it's awesome. And
nice.
I love it, because it's like a little vacation, and and he just takes such good care of me when I'm with him. And, you know, he makes sure that he stocks up all the special foods I need. And, I require a lot of, a lot of extra things, not because I'm high maintenance necessarily. Maybe I am because of my health, but he just makes sure that I have everything I need and really takes just exquisite care of me.
So it's like a staycation. You're in the same city, but you're like, vacationing at your man's house,
Right. I call it it's my second home. I have my primary home and my secondary home. So, because he always makes me feel completely at home there, and I'm welcome there at any time. So it's very
so
nice.
Yeah. Is he in Scottsdale as well?
He is. Yeah, we're 15 minutes apart. So
oh my gosh.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to meet him, and I can't wait to meet you in real time when I come out there in December. Yes. And it's been such a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much, Bonni. And
thank you so much, Nancy, for having me. I'm truly honored and blessed to have this opportunity to, come on and again, this is an opportunity for me to spread more awareness and, and hopefully inspire some people that may be watching. And and I just really appreciate you selecting me for this. Thank you.
Of course. It was a easy decision to make. I'm like, Bonni. Yeah. So before we go, is there anywhere that anybody can find you? I know you're in the Radiantly Divine community. Are you working on some things? Do you want them to reach out to you? They can direct message you, or do you have a group or community or anything that they can follow? Or I know you're on Instagram and stuff, social media.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I think it's Howard Bonni, although I'm going to do something to kind of rebrand and be more, aligned with my advocacy stuff. On Facebook, I'm just Bonni Fleischman Howard. And I think you tagged me in here. So if they send me requests there, they can find me there. And I am going to be working on some more things. So as I do that on my regular Facebook page, if they friend me, I will announce those on there so that they can then be included in my future endeavors. So.
Okay, great. And I can have you on again when you get closer to. Yes, I would love that too. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy your sunshine. I got sunshine here, but it's like 40 something degrees, but I love it.
Oh my gosh. I think we're going to be like 80 today.
Oh, 80. See, people in California are like, what? It's cold there? Because, I used to live in California, like seeing people like bundled up is like, what's going on in the rest of the world?
It was cold yesterday here. I whipped out the boots for a couple of days, but then I think it's supposed to warm back up into the 80s like the next few days. So, which I'm totally fine with because I love the warmth. I love the sunshine.
Yeah, it must feel good. Yes.
But I love you, Nancy.
I love you too.
Thank you. And
thank you. Okay. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And thank you everybody for watching. And is it your staycation today? Is it this weekend?
It's starting today. Yes.
Yay! I'll live vicariously through you. and put it out there. If he has any coworkers or friends, I'll be there soon. So
I will definitely keep you in mind.
Yeah. Thank you. And you're going to love my friends, Valerie and Craig. So we'll have to all go and do something. They're amazing. They're my home away, my Arizona home away. So they're great.
Wait, I'm so happy you're coming out here.
I know. I'm happy too. All right, love. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.